Today, we are introducing a system we have been working on for the last 3 years, Nerrvana. What problem do we solve? Web applications become increasingly complex. For example, compare these line count statistics from our version control system over the past decade. Business applications require changes often, and sometimes we have to do a full rework of certain parts. Keeping systems bug-free becomes very important. We like to find and fix bugs before users have a chance to report them. HTML standard implementations in different browsers are still far from ideal. Many web applications require cross-browser testing. What is one of the solutions? Selenium is an open-source software which allows to write and execute functional tests for web applications by running them in a browser. Selenium tests will open a web application in the browser you selected and perform a set of actions and validations that you as a tester created. Let's open a desktop while Selenium is testing and have a look at how it works. Nobody needs to watch this fast-forward speed testing because Selenium can create screenshots of pages which failed your tests. It really depends on your imagination and time. Selenium is just an execution tool with many possibilities. For a small team, Selenium itself will often be enough. Having Mac gear will help. You can virtualize Windows on Linux or the other way around. However, if you are serious about continuous integration and quality, you have a choice of either ignoring Selenium testing and running all other kinds of tests, or setting up an environment with hardware, virtualization, licensing, all these operating systems, defining who can use which resources in which order. When do we start testing trunk build and where? Who will prepare all these virtual machines we need? What about production release 3.18 and next 3.19? Too many problems. This is a problem our system solves. It is truly a Selenium cloud at your fingertips because you only need to write tests for your application and you do not need to worry about anything else, no matter how many versions you want to test in which environment, how many browsers you want to execute your code in. Let's talk a little bit more on how it works. First, you load your tests into your own private space. Now, you can set up a testing environment and schedule. You may decide to run a full test for trunk every day at midnight, and your production system with smoke tests every 2 hours. You specify operating systems and browsers too. When time arrives, Nerrvana builds a Selenium grid to your specification and launches your tests. Once tests are completed, all code with the reports your test generated are uploaded back to your private space, so you can check results at your convenience. You can access your test results via browser, or you can automate uploads to your own system via the FTPS service we provide. Our own testing framework we wrote while learning to write Selenium tests produces a nice HTML output with links to screenshots. You may have a different approach. You can generate messages that Nerrvana can read, so you can notify yourself with an email pointing directly to a problem. In this case, you do not even have to check the user interface all the time. Isn't it cool? Let's watch how these steps are done on a system. We will launch a fragment of the tests you saw earlier. Let's log in and create a new space. This is essentially a folder which will store tests and their results. Now we will open an FTP client and upload our tests into Nerrvana's space. The folder test results is used by Nerrvana to upload completed tests, and the directory files is the one we can use. Now we can create a test run. We select a space, give it a name, description, and select an executable file. Let's run our tests in Firefox on CentOS and Internet Explorer on Windows XP. We will ask Nerrvana to launch tests once, right now, and validate our code before starting the tests. You can see a test run is ready to go. N means next. Now, test run is now marked as R, running, and we see validation has begun. Internet Explorer test has started, and Firefox. Nothing surprising here. Firefox started later and finished earlier. Everything is completed now. Let's look at the information Nerrvana provides. Each spec, a combination of platform and browser, contains messages, statistics, and a link to browse files that Nerrvana uploaded to the FTP server. You can see that validation took 3 seconds and Firefox tests ran for 169 seconds. Information on in and out traffic is also available. Let's look at a report our tests generated for Firefox. And the same for Internet Explorer. What has changed inside the FTP folder? The test runs directory now contains the test run we created and another folder below it with a timestamp, as a test run can be executed by schedule, every hour or once a day. Files Out is a folder where Nerrvana uploaded tests after completion, and this is where we will find the report we just looked at in a browser. That's it. Our goal was to make running Selenium tests as easy as possible. Just load your Selenium code, create a schedule, and run your tests. You don't need to customize your Selenium code to run it on Nerrvana. Joining and leaving is easy, no lock-in. You can run Selenium tests in PHP or Java. We support major browsers and operating systems, and are sensitive to your needs. Virtual machines which execute your tests are used only once. We provide HTTPS and FTPS access to our system. We also provide some easy steps to further enhance security for applications under testing. Nerrvana can validate your tests before launching them to make sure that there are no syntax errors or missing files. Nerrvana adjusts to your local time. Schedules and timestamps and log files are in your time zone. Our scheduler analyzes your test needs and prepares environments in advance to launch them on time. Being aware of its own cloud resources, Nerrvana spreads the server's load to maximize performance and minimize runtime. Let's do a quick recap. Nerrvana is a web service. Nerrvana is created for functional testing of web applications. Nerrvana runs your Selenium tests. You only need a web application and Selenium tests to use it. You only create a schedule and specify browsers in operating systems to run tests. Each test execution is a brand new grid setup. We support tests in PHP and Java and are listening to your needs. Mac OS support depends on you voting for it. The beta version is completely free. We will eventually start charging by runtime. Nerrvana will always have a free but limited account. we think of hosting full-scale accounts for open source projects. We are building Nerrvana in bootstrapped mode. It was not easy, but we did it. We formed Deep Shift Labs in 2008 and soon started working on Nerrvana while continuing building web applications for our Australian client. We decided to invest our time into a product we own, love, and are going to use ourselves. In the great words of David Heinemeier Hansson, this is a nice Italian restaurant in the web space. Vadim works the video next, when he's not busy building custom RPMs and kickstarts for Nerrvana, or fulfilling our never-ending requests to install new instances or upgrade something somewhere. If he doesn't know something, it's either Windows technology or it doesn't exist. Dmitry built Nerrvana's core, a huge piece of our system which produces and runs virtual machines executing Selenium code. His personage is not coincidentally in the middle of the action. He thinks in terms of bringing new target frames and more effective ammunition for working long days, building a new night vision device, or polishing the latest and greatest laser sights, improving Nerrvana's apparatus. Alexander is a PHP and JavaScript mastermind. I'm sure he will smile if you call him a front-end engineer. Nerrvana user interface, our website, blog, and forum. Most of the things you interact with in a browser are handled by the code written by him. By 2008, I had been building web applications for 7 years. I had some ideas and a strong relationship with a client whose projects I knew could allow us to build any product we will choose, bootstrapped. I should admit, I did not write a single line of code for Nerrvana, but its creation filled my life almost completely during the last 3.5 years. Yes, I wrote about a 100-page spec at the very beginning, joined wonderful photos of Igor Sifanovich and comics of Alex Bronzov, and drew interfaces you see inside our system, and some other stuff, like posting over 5,000 messages on our internal forum. Where are we now? We are ready to launch our beta, and we have a solid product, marketing site and support system integrated into our product, and an answers portal where clients can seek answers to questions they might want answered. During the beta, we are going to listen for feedback and improve our system. We need to connect the payments gateway and launch the forum and ideas portal where clients can suggest and vote for improvements. Thank you for your attention, and we are delighted to invite you to test Nerrvana.